Hi guys, and welcome to Zozo Cooks Keto. Today we're making pizza with fathead dough. It's a super quick, versatile, and keto-friendly dough that can be used for both sweet and savory dishes. Except for today, we're making pizza. Let's get cooking. To start out, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. For this recipe, you'll need 1.5 cups of low moisture pre-shredded mozzarella, 3/4 cup of almond flour, 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of full-fat cream cheese, 1 egg, half a teaspoon of each garlic powder and Italian seasoning, and a little salt and pepper. The first thing we're going to do is add the mozzarella and cream cheese to a large bowl and pop it in the microwave for about a minute. Now, I like to use a wooden spoon when combining this because it's nice and firm and allows me to blend this mixture well. Once it's mostly come together and it's cool enough to touch, work the dough a little longer by hand, allowing the temperature to come down some. Add a large egg and incorporate it into the dough. I find it much easier to do this by hand. Before adding the egg, make sure the mixture has cooled down just a little so it doesn't cook it while we mix it. Next, add the almond flour, the garlic powder and Italian seasonings, and finally, the salt and pepper. Give it a good mix, making sure all the ingredients are well combined. Once done, you'll be left with a soft and slightly sticky dough. Let's set this aside and get our baking stuff ready. To bake this pizza, I'm just going to use regular baking tray lined with parchment paper. To prevent our dough from sticking to the paper, I'm going to spray it down with a little oil. I highly recommend doing this because the pizza will stick to the paper once done. Take your dough and place it in the center of the baking tray. If you want, you can press this out by hand, but you'll need to wet your hands frequently as the dough is super sticky. This is not for me. I like to use a second piece of parchment paper, give it a quick spray with some oil, and then press the dough out. Using a little rolling pin, spread it out nice and even. I then like to use the roller to help sharpen up the edges. Perfect! Take a fork and prick the dough all over. This will prevent it from puffing up during the cooking process. And we're done. Here it is! Turn the oven down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to share a little secret. This pre-baked crust freezes quite well. When making pizza, I like to do a double batch of dough, then bake both crusts and split the second one into 3. That way I can pop it in the freezer for later. Here's one I froze earlier. When I want a quick meal for one, I can just pull out a crust, stick it in the oven with my favorite toppings, and in no time flat, I have a low-cost keto pizza for dinner. When freezing the crusts, I wrap them nice and tight in some parchment paper and foil. To dress our pizza, I'll be keeping it simple with some pizza sauce, pepperoni, and mozzarella. For pizza sauce, I like to use a very low-carb marinara that I've blended until smooth. Marinaras are much lower in carbohydrates than regular pizza sauces. You can either make one from scratch or buy a low-carb one from the store. Let's make this pizza pretty. Time to bake! Now you may be wondering, what am I going to do with all of this sauce? Well, you can save it for a dish later in the week like spaghetti or chicken parmesan, Or if you plan on freezing a few crusts like I did, you can freeze some of it to use later on them. Ice cube trays are a great way to do that. Each hold about 2 tablespoons worth of sauce, which is the perfect amount for your personal pizzas. Fill them up. Gently level them. Oop, not like that. Let me give that a quick wipe. Pop them in the freezer for later use. And here's our pizza. For 1/3 of the pizza crust, excluding toppings, the macros are 30.7 grams of fat, 3 grams of fiber, 6.7 grams of total carbs, and 22.7 grams of protein. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you'd like to see more, please click the subscribe button, the like button, and ring that bell for future notifications. Thanks for watching. Luna, what you doing?
Nothing.